It's only when you take responsibility for your life that you discover how powerful you truly are. Today, we're talking about responsibility and accountability, personal responsibility and accountability, right here on Hope Mongers. So don't go away. Welcome to the Hope Mongers podcast. I'm your host, Abaketo Anda, a licensed therapist and the author of Reflections of a Hope Monger. Hope is our theme, and helping you align yourself to your life's purpose is our goal. After listening, you will be educated, inspired, and elevated to unlock your own greatness. So please subscribe to this podcast, share it, and give us a good rating. Now, let's get started. Well, hello, and welcome to Hope Mongers. Today, we're talking about a subject matter that's close to my heart: personal responsibility, personal accountability. Let me read you another quote. Albert Einstein said this: "Man must cease attributing his problems to his environment and learn again to exercise his will, his personal responsibility." And today I'm so honored to be joined in this conversation by the author of the upcoming book, Own It. Welcome, Mrs. Yaa Foda Attobrah. Welcome to Hope Mongers.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let me read a little bit of your bio before we start. Um,
Okay.
Miss Yaa Attobrah describes herself as a woman of deep faith after my own heart. Is the word of God and writing. She began this writing journey about 5 years ago and so far has three published books: The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, released in 2021, Reflections for a Thirsty Soul, which was actually the year before in 2020, and then Refreshing for My Weary Soul, which was released in October 2021. Yaa is an advocate of women's empowerment, and in her publication, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, it's full of inspiration, motivation, and encouragement for. Let me say that again. Blah, 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 blah. Yaa is also an advocate of women's empowerment, and her publication, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, is full of inspiration, motivation, and encouragement for women. She believes in living her life to the fullest and said
Mhm.
her mantra is just do it.
Good.
Yaa loves to travel to exciting places of interest and says she would love to do a travel blog in the near future. She is a wife, a mother of three adult children, and a grandmother of three. And she lives in Edmonton, Canada. Sister Yaa, as I call her, welcome to Hope Mom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Sister Yaa, on Hope Mongers, we like to go beyond the resume. So share
Mhm.
with us something that perhaps is not on your resume.
Oh, okay. I I'll take it myself as a straight shooter. Like what you see is what you get.
Mhm,
I don't put on any acts, any facades. I believe in being your authentic self.
mhm.
A lot of times we put on these masks and we don't have to. Like people need to know who you really are. So that is my attitude towards life.
I love that. I think that's the as I'm growing more
Hmm.
and more and more, I'm endeavoring to become more authentic because I've
Hmm.
actually realized that it's exhausting when we put on masks. Because
Yes.
it's like you're always on, you're always trying
Hmm.
to play a role like an actor. It's exhausting. I find life is simpler, easier when we remove the masks. So
Yes.
I really appreciate that. So let me ask you another question though. Sister Ya, you are, a mother, a grandmother, and at this age, you could be taking it easy, probably planning retirement. I'm thinking, what keeps you going? How come you're about to publish your fourth book in as many years?
Well, I don't believe in sitting still.
Hmm.
We were raised a certain way, and I think that we come with this script, especially if you're a woman, and so you are cast in a particular mold. And or shall I call it? I call it the box. My ladies and I on my platform, we call it the box. And sometimes even we forget there's four corners and you can run here, try this, try that. If you try the four corners, it doesn't work, jump out. You are not allowed to be yourself.
Mm.
But it takes courage to be able to do that, because we are the script that we are fed is, well, you are born, you go to school, you get married, work the job, retire. But I'm playing all these roles. I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. But at the end of the day, who am I?
Yes.
So I need to leave. We need to leave something for ourselves, and we don't. So for me, it's that passion. And sometimes your life does not give you all you want, and you
Mm.
have to find other meaning or your own meaning of what life means to you. So for me, writing is my passion. I enjoy it. So it's like it gave me a new lease on life. So what are you going to do when you retire? Just sit around doing nothing, right? So you got to
Yes.
keep busy. Yeah.
Yes, and I think I love what you're saying because I hear you as somebody who has recently become an empty nester. I recognize that at every stage of our
Hmm.
lives, there's an assignment.
Hmm.
And so, yes, wife, mother, professional
Hmm.
have all been things I've
Hmm.
been very honored to take on in
Hmm.
my life. But I understand that there's also a purpose that
Yes.
perhaps doesn't involve the husband, the children,
No.
maybe even the job. There's something I'm supposed to do as well.
Yes.
So I love that in this season, when somebody might be growing old, you are growing
Hmm.
older, right?
Yes.
There's a show I like to listen to on NPR. It comes on Sunday mornings, early Sunday
Hmm.
morning. It's called Growing Bolder, and it showcases people in their golden years who
Hmm.
expect them to kind of just sit back and do nothing. That's
Hmm.
when they're trying new things and living. And I love that you say life should be lived to the fullest. So
Yes.
um,
Yes.
I'm imagining you are able to do that because you took personal responsibility for your life. You decided that, you know what, I have one life to live, and so let me
Hmm.
live it to the fullest, correct?
I like that you said one life to live, because I say that all the time. I think it's in some of the books. And I go, there used to be a soap opera on ABC called One Life to Live.
One
And,
life to live.
those captions, they stay with you. And it's like you don't have time. There's
Mhm,
a finite amount of time that we have on this earth.
mhm,
And we seem to just play around with it,
mhm,
right? Like
mhm,
for me, I'm not completely an empty nester yet, but my two younger ones are young adults. They go to their jobs, they are doing their thing, right? And what are you going to do? Sit down and twiddle your thumb? Like a lot of us women, especially with us, the script that we have been fed, we give so much away to our family and we forget ourselves. And it's not to say don't, you love them, but there has to be balance. So you need to be doing things for you. So,
yes,
and
yes.
sometimes, like, we watch TV shows, we do things, but oh, mom, you're busy, all this. And I'll go, I put boundaries. I say, you don't give me the guilt thing. Like, I'm glad I'm doing this, because what would I be doing just thinking of the impending, season of being
Absolutely.
an empty nester and everybody gone? What are you doing with yourself? We don't think about it. A
Mhm.
lot of women don't. And so in that season, they are completely lost.
Yes, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. I told
Mhm.
myself prior to this, let me get myself busy. I'm going
Mhm.
to. It's still a difficult transition for me anyway.
Yes. Yes.
But of course, it's helped by understanding that now is my time to get to know myself, to
Yes.
reacquaint myself
Hmm.
with Abba, to fill myself.
Yes.
Because if I don't fill myself, there's nothing left to give to
Yes.
anybody else. Yeah. But I think a big part of being able to literally grab the bull by the horns of my
Hmm.
life is this thing about personal responsibility and accountability. And so my
Hmm.
question to you is, why is it important, to take responsibility and accountability for one's life?
Okay. I figure that if you don't, somebody else is going to run your life or
Yes.
give you a script to follow. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of us don't know that. And these were hard lessons, because the environment in which we grew up, if you were in my generation, your parents told you do this, do that, decisions were made for you, and we thought that was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine myself coming to Canada at age 26 and going to live with a woman, a family friend that back in the day, French Canadian, that my parents knew. She expected me to be out of the house by week's end. I didn't have a clue. I
Wow.
didn't, you get what I mean? You haven't been outside before, you haven't been empowered.
Mm-hmm.
Things were done for us. Now
Mm-hmm.
you step into this environment, you have to figure it out yourself. So look at us back there. We are into this mode of somebody is always doing something for you.
Yeah.
Oh, my sister is abroad. My husband is that. I don't need to do anything. So I call it we are in a state of learned helplessness.
Yeah.
Somebody always has to do it for us. But how about you empowering yourself? Because if you don't, like I say, you have a finite time. If you don't make use of the time, you'll be gone and you wouldn't have done anything. And
Yeah.
when you're not taking this accountability and responsibility, what happens is that you become unfulfilled. You don't know who you are. You are drifting around and you become bitter. And those are the ones we see who are, you know, spewing on people negativity. Somebody could look at me and say, well, why is she troubling herself or what's she talking about? What's going on? But it's fun. For me, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I don't consider it work.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. When you're enjoying what you're doing, it's a passion. It's not somebody holding a gun to your head like, the rat that we are in, the rat race. Get up, go to work, come home, this, that. What do you do outside of your work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say that, use the term learned helplessness, that
Mhm.
mindset of learned helplessness is actually a victim mindset.
Yes.
And what you're saying is that no, let's actually begin to be proactive
Hmm.
in taking responsibility for our
Yes.
lives. I do love that
Take charge.
charge. It's so
Yeah.
important. It's so important. So I'm noticing that your first three books, for
Hmm.
me, they convey the message of refreshing, the beauty
Hmm.
of man's heart, refreshing for your weary soul, refreshing, and then boom, own it. So what inspired your sister you have to write this book?
Well, I think I was saying earlier, that I find it's mind-boggling to me. I've been looking when, even on Facebook, somebody throws a comment or a topic, posts something,
Mhm,
and then you read through and you see just the mindset, the mentality, insults,
mhm,
this and that, and you go, what's happening to the society, what's happening to us? There
mhm,
seems to be no personal responsibility for our actions. We think we can just do whatever we want, impose ourselves on people. We want to tell people how to live their lives, but they get to make those decisions and those choices, not us.
yeah,
Right. So for me, too, the thing is, you hear a lot of people complaining, oh, there's no jobs in the system, this and that. What can you do? You are sitting there waiting. Is it a government handout or
mhm,
like, can't you create something to help yourself?
mhm,
Right? In our environment, for example, back home, you see a lot of the women, I shouldn't say a lot of them, it seems some have this mindset that the only way that they can be somebody or their worth is in using their feminine wiles on men to get what they want. And
mhm.
then lo and behold, I saw a story about a young lady. I think she's in Winneba, one of the higher institutions in Winneba, and
Yeah.
her dad is into construction. So she loves painting, and she offered to paint 3 houses for free. So she's putting herself out there, and I'm reading it and I'm like, wow. I think I got it from one of my platforms. So they were saying, well, look at this one. Can't that be the example?
Mhm.
So remember, I talked earlier of the script. It
Yeah.
seems like women were just groomed and raised. That's what some of us seem to think, and it's cultural. So it's very, it's very ingrained, embedded. It's hard to pry people from it. And
Mhm.
even when you try to talk about it, people think, oh, you're a feminist, and they accuse you. They prefer to be in that traditional mindset. But what else can you offer? Like, I
Yeah.
make the comment that what do you bring to the table, but you as well could be the table. Like,
Yeah.
hello, there's
Yeah.
women out there doing it,
Yeah.
and they are in relationships and it's okay, it's working. So you need to empower yourself, right? Yeah.
My second mother, she loves to cook.
Hmm.
And even in her mid 70s, she always says, "Why are people saying there's no jobs? Me, if look, people just try me. I'm gonna uh, get my pan, my oil, and make buffet and sell it right here. Because she said there's always something you can. There's always some way,
Yes.
some
Yes.
hustle, some
Yes.
way we can live and improve our lives. And I think it
Yes.
all comes from having a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset, allowing
Yes.
yourself to think
Hmm.
outside the box and to
Yes.
examine your skills, your talents, So this is an important book, and I'm really excited about. Yeah, I am. I'm really excited about about what we gain from it. So I
How about,
figured, yes.
I was going to say that you mentioned growth and fix. There's even a next level mindset. I had this next last Sunday in my coaching class, like next
Oh,
level. But yeah, so it's things are changing and we
yeah,
are just stuck.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what are you doing? People are just stuck. They go to work, they come home, and that's it.
And what we don't
They-
understand, the world is always changing. Nothing stays
yes,
the same. There's
yes,
always new developments, and
yes.
even the GPS. I noticed a very simple example. I have a terrible sense of direction, so I'm always
Mhm.
using my GPS. But if you take a wrong turn, or for some reason the road is closed and you have to take a different turn, it recalibrates based on where you
Yes, yes,
right.
it does.
You
Yes.
have to, so you have to take in current
Hmm.
information in
Yeah.
deciding on what your strategy will be. So, sister, yeah, let's talk about the book. And I love some of the topics you cover in there. Um,
Hmm.
one of the things you cover, which I think is so important, and I'm going through a lot of changes in my life now, is this one called embracing change. To us, what do you have to share with us about that?
Well, you know what I find? I find that we're very, as a people, right? We seem set in our ways. It's and it's everywhere, not just where we come from. Human beings generally, right? You get set in a particular pattern, and it's hard for somebody to come along and shift you this way.
Mm-hmm,
You have to will yourself to make that change.
mm-hmm,
And it's so difficult for us, and things are moving and they are moving so fast.
mm-hmm,
And so what do? You'll be stuck. Like
mm-hmm,
me, I'll sit here and tell you, technology. I'm not the most tech savvy person.
mm-hmm.
I know enough to do my job, but the thing about it is that if I don't know, I'll ask. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I have millennials here, and I'm not going to be the typical Ghanaian mother who's blah blah embarrassed. No, hey, can you help me with this? They'll laugh, they'll tease you, but they'll do it. They'll help you, or they'll show you. Or sometimes I'll go, "You're going too fast. I need to see how you are doing it." Just the willingness to. Do you know how many courses that I've bought on Udemy because I want to learn something? I
Yeah.
learned to do Canva by myself. I mean, I can't say I know everything, but when I saw it was on sale, I wait till when um, I'm on their mailing list, so I see all these things. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
Canva, just little things, YouTube, this, that. I haven't sat down to do it yet because I'm so busy with this book, but I have it in my mind that you have to want to learn. But
That's
people,
amazing. That's amazing.
yes,
Amazing. And I heard you say it slipped out my coaching class. So you're still, taking your classes and amazing.
I do all kinds. I didn't know this. It's just like a world of, opened up to me. And I'm like, I loved reading, but I'm not very fast anymore. I just take a chapter, I'll read a little bit. I'm sitting on Hope Mongers. I haven't finished Hope Mongers. I take a little bit, read. I'm like, oh, hey, and then you
Yes.
keep going. I have three other books like that. I read a little bit, and then I get some, audiobooks, the free ones on, what do you call it? Like when I'm watching Facebook and maybe one of these ladies mentions a book, I go and
Mhm,
look for it.
mhm.
There's something called, a classmate shared it, pdfdrive.net and
Okay.
free books. So when I hear of a book, I'll go and see if I can find
Please
it
tell
there.
me that to pdfdrive.net. I learned something.
Yes, yes, free download. So then I download it. Ask me if I'm reading it all, but I'm just happy and excited to know that it's accessible to me. It's there. And I mean, I'm going to be retired soon, so I'll have time to do that. But I try to read a little bit, or I won't say I've been doing it every day, but on the days that I'm intentional, I'm going, let me read a few pages of this book. So just learning, wanting to learn.
Mhm,
It's sad when people don't want to, and then when you engage them in conversation, they shoo or poo-poo every idea that you bring up. That, oh, what
mhm.
are you wasting your time for? What's that all about?
Yeah.
You know?
So
So
embracing change is about a desire to learn, is what I'm getting
yes,
from what you're saying.
yes, yes. Because if you don't, you stagnate. Like you just sit there,
Yeah.
and you're not learning any new skills. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. It can be something you better yourself so that new opportunities, new job opportunities, but it could be just things that you love to do, personal growth, like even something that you read that will change your mindset or your perspective of how you look at a particular thing. Right now, if you go out and you're chatting with people, are you able to hold a conversation? Like,
Mm.
without arguing and, start, like we need to want to learn. I'm sitting here, I won't say that I know everything. No, but make the effort. Make the effort.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing I've said to Jesus is that till the day he calls me home, I want to learn something new every day.
Yes,
It's a little
yes,
something. Every day be better.
yes.
And truly, the competition in life is not against, like, my competition is not against you. My
Mhm.
competition is against who
No,
I was yesterday. I want to be
thank
better
you.
today than I was yesterday. Tomorrow, I want to be
Exactly,
even better, and so on.
exactly,
But
exactly.
changes can be scary.
It is, but you need to learn to overcome it. Look,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. So, when you talk about, learning new things, I was on Clubhouse and I saw this gentleman, Dr. Fred Jones, bestseller overnight. I went into his room, listened in, and then he goes, come to a free webinar and listen to what I'm about. Then I went in, I listened, and he's talking about, the Amazon KDP process. I'm like, okay, let me invest in this. I'm going to, and I did. It was scary for me. Like when they say bestseller overnight, it means you can go in a webinar in 2 weeks' time, you've published a book because you have a year, But I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I did this hemming and hawing, and then I had to create a book club. There were so many little things you had to do. And then I found myself doing it. I made the video. I did this. I did that. Just overcoming that hurdle. I'm like, who am I going to put in this group? I don't have a lot of people around me. Well, there's 59 people in the club now. I
Oh
mean, it's not
wow!
like they interact every day, but they are there. And the
Yes.
thing is, the launch is on Thursday. So what's going to happen is that on that day I have to share the link, and then people go purchase for 99 cents only that day. And you have
Yes.
to drive up the sales because this is a resource, like it's a self-management tool or a guide to help people. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to serve and support people. So that day, this is how people can, you know help me get this up the charts.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon can put it in front of people. So 99 cents only for that day, because
Mm-hmm.
likely the price will go up after that. And
Yeah.
then, yes. So what I'm trying to say is that it was scary to me. Now I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, I've done it.
Telling me the
And
process exactly.
and it's funny, he calls himself a worthologist because he's big, it's big on branding and all that. He calls himself a worthologist because he helps people create worth. And
Mm-hmm.
so I sat there and I go, oh, the last what do you call it? He has one-on-one coaching every month or so. Well, the last one that I went to, I went and sat there and I was talking confidently about all these things that are done. I'm like, where did that come from? And
Wow.
then and he goes, "Oh, you're the queen of own it." And I go, "That sounds good." So then I thought, "Oh, he's a worthologist, well, ornithologist," and I also came up with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I did a video that evening of the struggles that I went through trying to go through this process, and I sent it to him. In the video, I said I was talking confidently, and was I lying? I said, "No. When I put my mind to do something, I do it."
Mm-hmm.
Sister, but that day, I think the call was around 2 o'clock. At 8 o'clock in the evening, I was so pumped, so whatever. It tells you the importance of the words we speak to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said I wasn't going to go into that class. He could see, he said he knows I can do it, but I seem to be hesitating. I seem a bit, it's scary, but I'm not, I don't give up easily. So I said, I'll push, I'll do it. So then I said, I'm not going to go there and speak in a negative way that, oh, I can't do it, I can't do that. In fact, I thought I hadn't even finished my setup, right? But
Mm-hmm.
lo and behold, it was done. Like, so I
Yeah.
was you have to challenge yourself. Let's take, overcome those
Mm-hmm.
little, big, medium mountains, hurdles, barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise you give up and you just sit there and so it can't be done. And a lot of people are saying that it can't be done. I can't do it.
So I'm hearing challenge yourself. I'm
Yes,
hearing go beyond outside of your comfort zone.
yes,
and then you actually may find that, what, I'm actually good at this. I can actually
Yes.
do this,
Yes.
you know.
Just try.
Yes, just try. Just try.
Try.
Keep doing the same thing you've always done. You're
Yeah.
going to get the same results in your life. And
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. I think another aspect of your book that I loved was this element of owning your story, because not
Yes.
everybody has a nice story. Some people's
Hmm.
stories come packaged in pain,
Hmm.
maybe in trauma, some
Yes.
tragedy, as well as the triumph.
Yes.
Maybe some people have had things done to them that hurt, or maybe they have
Hmm.
made mistakes as well.
Hmm.
What is the importance of owning your story?
There's something that we forget, and I'm going to make a comparison here. I say that in the environment in which we live, when
Mhm,
somebody is gone through, I see a lot of it. Somebody's gone through a situation. It could be child trafficking, domestic abuse, what have you. They
mhm,
become advocates. They use their story to
mhm.
empower other people.
Yes.
And it's so big over here. But then
Mhm.
I look at somebody, I think about it, and I look at somebody who's gone through sexual abuse or whatever, and then you compare to back home, the things people will say, oh, what do we shame, we tend to shame. So people are so fearful of owning their story, that
Yes.
this
Yeah.
is what happened to me. I can
Yes.
help somebody,
Yes.
you
You
know?
know, and it's interesting because even in my own book, Reflections of a Hope Manga, I talk about it in my opening chapter.
Hmm.
The fact that when we hide our stories, then they become encased in shame, and the
Yes,
shame sits with us.
yes,
But when
yes,
actually, when we have the courage to actually share our stories, number one,
yes,
you realize that you're not alone.
yes,
And it's only in that courage to share your story can you
yes,
hear other stories of others, and we begin, it becomes a teaching tool.
yes,
And then Brené Brown says this, when we deny our stories, they
hmm,
define us. When
yes,
we own our stories, we get to write a brave new ending. And
yes,
so owning our story is important. And I think also the other thing about owning our story is that you are the author, you and God
hmm,
are the
hmm,
author of your story. And so, how you tell your story, if you allow
hmm,
yourself to see the courage you displayed, the resilience you displayed, then
yes,
you realize what an awesome person you are. And so owning
yes.
your story allows you to achieve all of that. So
Hmm.
I'm really big on that as well. Yeah.
You
Owning your
can't write anybody else's story. It's yours
story, it's
that will
you.
impact, you
Mhm,
know, people. Because if you write and it's just you're writing and there's nothing of you in it, people know.
mhm.
So for me, even I thought I put this together. I thought to myself, did I tell any stories about myself? But then I went through and I read and I go, oh yeah, I say things. So it's okay. It's personalized. You have to personalize it because people want to learn. People can relate to your pain. People can relate to things that happen to you. I got called, like, if boys like you and you don't like them, then they call you names. And when you are young, you are so silly, you are foolish, you don't know better. When you grow up and you mature, you go, oh, it's their problem. Like
Yes.
they can't take rejection, and this is how they react. Yeah.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I think my other thing I liked that you said was taking the time to smell the roses in life.
Hmm. Hmm.
So after all is said and done, after you're saying let's keep going, let's embrace change, let's own our story,
Hmm.
let's do this and do that and do that. You're saying at the same time, take time to smell the roses. Let's talk about that.
Well, you see, we work and work and work and overwork ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of stories of how hard people work and send money back home and build buildings and this and that. But how about if, say, these are just examples I'm giving, and then you're living in a shack or something, but you are building a mansion over there and you have kids here. How are you preparing them, right? Live in a nice house too, so that they also feel good and they are empowered and they do well. And
Mm-hmm.
also, all work and no play makes Jack and Jill, dull boys and girls. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
We think it's a waste of time to take days off. We'll work and work. Even on our days off, we have to go and work. We don't take time out. It's okay to go for a walk, go for a spa, take a vacation. Going on a vacation does not necessarily have to mean going to Ghana. It can be somewhere else. I like to go somewhere else. Home is good, don't get me wrong, but it's like we're so stuck in that mode that everything is over there.
And
Look,
it's nice to sometimes just go on vacation. Ghana, I love Ghana, where you don't have to buy suitcases of stuff,
hmm,
go greet this person and that person. That's nice. So there's a place for that. But it's okay
yes,
to also just go away, you know,
yes,
so somewhere peaceful or go explore something.
yes,
And
yes,
and truth be told, even in Ghana, I have a number of friends who are making it an actual holiday. So they are
yes.
going to Ghana and exploring,
Going
Adan
to places.
places,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
national
yes,
park and so on.
yes.
It's important. We don't understand that, you know, life itself is in cycles of work and rest.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have those downtime cycles so that you can power up for the
Yes.
active cycles of life. That's how life works. And so I think it's important to understand that, yes, we
Mm-hmm.
must build in rest, relaxation,
Mm-hmm.
time to smell the roses. Otherwise, you become burnt out.
I have a story that I'm going to tell to illustrate the importance of going on a vacation.
Mhm,
So, typical Ghanaian, like I was born in Montreal and I've
mhm,
been here years and years and I've never gone there. So,
mhm,
finally, 29 2019, my eldest daughter, she also loves travel. So, she says, Mom, we have to go. So, she
mhm,
and I planned it and we went. And I kept saying, Oh, you can't go. I'm going to Ghana in December. Why should I go? She goes, We'll do both. Let's go. So even her, she and her sister that year, they went to LA, then she went with me to Montreal, and then she went with me to Ghana. When we went to Montreal, right, on
mhm.
August 13th, my father passed away on August 13th. McGill University is his alma mater. So that was the day we went to do the tour. It
Wow.
was a very emotional day. When I
Mhm.
came back into the hotel, I'm looking at into the hotel room. I looked at Nana and I said, I have to write this book. I
Wow.
have to. That's the inspiration I got. And I
Mhm,
said, I have to, because before I was doing these Facebook lives, and I remember a schoolmate, she's in New Jersey thereabouts. One time she put in the chat, when are you going to write that book? And I got scared. And then
mhm.
my son, I was going through some personal challenges and church, spiritual stuff challenges. He says, Well, when are you going to stop worrying about these things and write your book? And
Mhm.
I thought it was beyond me. You see
Wow.
how we limit ourselves. I was content to write and post on Facebook, post
Yeah.
in Christian Women's Group, and that was it. When we came back, I called a publisher in British Columbia and I talked to them. And I said, But I'm not going to be here. I'm going to Ghana. They said, No problem. Just send it to us. The timeline you've given us for your travel lines up with when we can get things done and to you and all that. So that's when I did my first book. So
Wow. Reflections for a thirsty soul.
you go on a vacation and you get a new lease on life and you go, I can try something new,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we don't get it, but if we would, it would be very, very good. Yeah.
Because you're right, it does do good to get away from your environment and then just allow your mind to rest. That way you come back
Mhm.
even more creative, even more powered
Yes.
up, I find
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
Mhm.
Amazing, amazing. So, sister, yeah, we've talked about all these amazing things you are doing in these golden years. I'm big on purpose. How do
Mhm.
you find your purpose? You're writing all these books to refresh us, to challenge
Mhm.
us, to own
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
What is your purpose?
My purpose? Well, my purpose is I'm somebody that I find myself or I view myself as an encourager. I like
Mhm,
to motivate people and I
mhm,
love words. So for me, just the power of words. I even
mm,
had in my notes here about the power of your voice. You can speak to people verbally or through the power of your words and build somebody up.
yeah.
So that's me. Like, if I was a man, maybe my name would be Barnabas. Like, it's not to say I've not been negative before. I grew, and there's still people who are stuck there doing this negativity. People are burdened. People have a lot going on, and you don't know them all personally, but if they take a book and they read it, they'll get something out of it. They'll be inspired. They'll go, oh, okay, I thought this was terrible, but it's not so bad after reading this. Oh, okay. And then it gives them a new perspective or something wells up in them and they go, I'll try something different. Maybe
Mhm.
my situation is not so bad. Let me get out of this, you know, tight corner I've put myself in. Let me do something different. So we all know you read books and you go, oh wow, that's deep. And I look, I can't tell you how many deep things I've read from your book. I can't remember them. When I look, I'm like, oh wow, this is, you feel it words are, I don't know, right? Yes.
Words are seeds, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
with life,
yes,
words carry life, or they can carry even death.
yes.
The power of life and death is in the tongue, is in the
Yeah.
words. Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
very careful about what I say to
God
people.
created the world, with
Yes,
his words, right?
yes, yes,
He spoke and
yes,
things began to
yeah,
form. So, and then he created us in his image and likeness.
yes.
So you're right. Those words,
Hmm.
whether through our mouth or whether they are
Oh,
in
yes,
form, they have
yes.
the power to build up or to tear
Hmm.
down. So
Hmm.
important. So you're an inspirer, you're an encourager. In my words, you're a hope monger, is what you are.
Yes, that's awesome.
Oh, you're a hope monger. So, Sister
Yeah,
Yaa Attobrah, thank you so much for
thank you.
this time
Thank
with
you.
you. The book is called Own It.
Yes,
Available for pre-order on Amazon on March 24th.
24th. Yes.
Um, so you know what? If you're listening to this, get out there and get the book. I was able to get a preview of it, and
Hmm.
it's really awesome. A lot of nuggets for daily
Hmm.
living. So thank you. Any parting words of wisdom for us here on this program?
Well, I'd say that, try to live a joyful life. You're
Yeah.
not always, I'm not saying that you'll be happy every day, but basically try to be consistent. Find joy in the little things, find big joy in the big things. Don't wait for the big things to come before you think, oh, I've made progress.
Mhm.
Believe in yourself, You need to, you're here for a time. And if you're going to sit and wallow in, oh, I don't have this, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, look at yourself, be happy with where you're at. What can you build on, right?
Yeah.
And while you're doing it, to learn to have fun. It's okay to laugh, like create moments of fun for you, family times, friend times. Take time out for yourself. Sometimes we are too serious. I call it, we become so kokoti, that, oh,
Yeah, that's
we are in this role, so we have to look. No, 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 no. It's like me, people go, oh, like they think that, oh, you are not serious or something. I'm like, at this stage, tomorrow's my birthday. At this stage,
oh,
yes,
happy
at this stage,
birthday.
thank
Wow.
you. At this stage, I've seen and done a lot. So what should I waste the rest of my life being miserable about? No, I don't have time for it. It's like I I've been stuck at home working for 2 years, but you manage it, you find joy in the little things, you do your stuff. Like life is life is life. You take the good with the
with,
bad.
with the bad, and I think that's so important because life can hit us all, right?
Yes,
Life
yes,
life can hit us and
yes, yes,
destabilize us, and I think
yes.
that once we understand that, I believe that uh, it's definitely each of us our
Mhm.
purpose to hold on to the good in life and
Yes.
see the positive and see the
Mhm.
good and find joy in the
Mhm.
everyday things.
Mhm.
And so I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a very good strategy for living. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Sister Yaa Attobrah, thank you so much for joining us on Hope Mongers. And
You too.
March 24th, we're going to be out there getting this book called Own It. And a very happy birthday to you as well.
Thank
Enjoy.
you. Thank you. Spread the word. Just share, but get your copy and then share with 5 to 10 people. Share with your network. Let them get this resource.
We will do that for sure. Thank
Thank
you
you so
again.
much, Abba. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Hope Mongers podcast with Abba Keto Anda. We'd like to continue to bring you amazing episodes, so please subscribe to the show. And if you enjoyed what you just heard, please give us a good rating. You can also follow us on social media at Abba Keto Anda. My best-selling book, Reflections of a Hope Monger, which inspired this podcast, is available now on Amazon. Thanks for listening. See you next time, and be a hope monger.